This is the second video in a series about alarms and events in Iris. In this video, we are going to look at the Alarm Manager and how to set up thresholds. There are three main subsystems which generate events in Iris. Active monitoring, these include ICMP monitoring, SNMP status monitoring, and TCP port monitoring. Syslog and SNMP traps, which come directly from devices, and thresholds which breach on graph data values. Active monitoring is controlled by the monitoring profile, where you can choose to monitor SNMP, ICMP, or both. We discuss this in a bit more detail in the video on devices, but for now, all you need to know is that alarms are generated with three severities for this type of monitoring. First failure is warning, then critical, and the third and subsequent failures are all down. Syslog and traps are set up from the devices to send to an Iris Polar. We have some rules to filter the logs and set appropriate severity. These can be found under Monitoring, Syslog rules, or SNMP trap rules. As logs or traps come in from devices, these rules are processed in order, and whichever rule matches the pattern first may take some action, such as raising an alarm. I can edit the rule by clicking here. I can then change the matching pattern, the action to be taken, and the severity where this rule is matched. Optionally, I can also add a custom message. To set up thresholds, click on Configuration, Monitoring, and you guessed it, Set Thresholds. We start by adding a threshold. You will have to give it some sort of description key. This is a unique key that you give to the alarm, which can help you later match the alarm if you need to, or include it in the message that you put in your alert. For more information about any of the fields, you can hover over the Help icon. Let's write a description called Traffic. I'm going to select Interfaces for the source, and I'm going to select Interface Capacity. Then you need to choose a metric for it. I'm going to choose percentage, and I'm looking for the last seen value for the period. The criteria works on a ceiling and floor system, which means that it is a range of values. For the critical ceiling, I'm going to say greater than 90%, send %K. This is a special value, which means that we must use the description key here. So in this example, %K would be replaced by traffic. Breached max value of %T, which means the threshold value, which is 90%. If you want to know more about what these mean, just hover over the criteria help here. I'm going to have a warning threshold of 80%. I could also have a warning if it is maybe running at less than 5%. If this line is always running traffic, you might want to generate an alert when it stops running traffic. I can then further match against a specific mnemonic or pattern. I would like to only manage this against core links. If I would like it to not match core links, then I can click the exception so that it does not match the core links. This means that I already have a threshold set up for this element, but I would like an exception to this threshold. This then would be that exception. Let's continue setting up this threshold, so I'm going to deselect the exception block for now. You set up thresholds for your core, and you set up thresholds for your customers. These are different, so always put at least the parent view code in. Let's put in NOC. This means that this threshold will only apply to that view and any of its child views. If you would like this threshold to apply to all graphs in the system, you would leave this field blank. The regular expressions cheat sheet gives you some examples of patterns that you can type in. So now that we know how alarms are generated in Iris, let's go to the Alarm Manager to see examples of some of these alarms. To view events, click on Events and then select the Suppressed view. The reason why I select the suppressed view is because it groups elements by the element name as opposed to the events. The events view lists all the events as they have happened. You can click on the blue number on the suppressed view to expand it and see more detail. You can also tell a few things that have happened with this event. You can tell when it first happened and when it last happened. You can tell that it has been acknowledged by someone and if that person has made a comment. If you right-click in a column on the events view, in the row that contains that event, a drop-down list will appear. You can select the relevant action from this drop-down. You can acknowledge this event and then write a comment in the comments column. If you select Edit Event, a pop-up will be displayed. The fields that you won't be able to edit will be grayed out, as you can see here. All fields that you can edit will be white. You can also change the status of the device here. I am going to acknowledge this alarm and then add a comment and click Save. You can also check the ping. I'll select the device and right-click again. When I select ping, I wait to see what happens. The menu also allows you to check the trace route and the interface for this particular alarm. If a device or element is going to be down for a very long time and you don't want it to keep appearing in the Alarm Manager, you can defer it. Should this alarm clear, it will automatically undefer. You can show and hide different columns in your view by clicking here. Select the columns that you would like to show or hide. I'm going to show the source column, as this will tell me which subsystem generated this alarm. You can order the information by clicking on the headings of the columns. If you type text into the fields, that will filter the information that you would like to see. This is a basic explanation of how alarms are generated and how they appear in the Alarm Manager. In the next video in this series, we will be looking at how to generate notifications from events that occur within Iris. Visit our website for more training.